Welcome back, collectors and treasure hunters. Sparkles. Today, we're going to explore the top 4 most valuable Jefferson nickel coins from the United States of America. These aren't just everyday 5-cent coins. We're talking about rare pieces that have become highly sought after in the coin collecting and investing world. From minting errors to rare silver and copper compositions, and even unique color shades and conditions, these Jefferson nickels have stood out as some of the most fascinating treasures in American currency. These coins are more than just pocket change. They are pieces of history that represent the artistry, mistakes, and surprises of the U.S. Mint. Some have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, making them not only historically significant, but also extremely valuable to collectors. So, if you're a coin enthusiast, a serious investor, or simply someone who appreciates the beauty and story behind America's money, this video is for you. Backhand index point right, stay tuned as we count down the top 4 most valuable Jefferson nickels, starting with the very first on our list. The 1943 P. Jefferson nickel is no ordinary 5-cent piece. It is a war-born coin, a survivor of America's most turbulent years, and a silent witness to the global struggle that shaped the 20th century. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint, this coin carries the bold P mint mark above Monticello's dome. The very first time in U.S. history that the Philadelphia Mint ever placed its letter onto a coin. For collectors, this small mark forever connects the coin to a pivotal chapter in American history. Why was the 1943 Jefferson nickel different from the coins that came before it? The answer lies in the desperate need for raw materials during World War II. Nickel, a critical metal for armor plating, weapons, and machinery, was too precious to be wasted on circulating coinage. In 1942, the U.S. Mint made the dramatic decision to remove nickel from the 5-cent coin and replace it with new alloy, 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. The result was the war nickel, a coin with real silver in its core, minted not for luxury but for necessity. The war nickel stands as one of the most patriotic issues in U.S. coinage. Every 1943, P. Jefferson nickel you hold carries within it the spirit of sacrifice. Citizens on the home front were recycling tin cans, planting victory gardens, and saving every scrap of metal for fight overseas. The very fact that silver was substituted for nickel shows how far the government was willing to go to ensure American soldiers had the resources to win the war. To own such a coin today is to own a small relic of that collective sacrifice. Design-wise, the coin retained Felix Schlage's iconic portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse in his home, Monticello on the reverse. Yet, the wartime alloy gave the coin a slightly different look and feel compared to its pre-war counterparts. Many circulated examples today show dark toning or streaky surfaces, evidence of the unusual mix of metals. When found in pristine, uncirculated condition, however, these coins shine with a silvery brilliance, making them stand out dramatically in any collection. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 271 million of these coins in 1943, and most entered circulation immediately. They clinked in pocket change, paid for war stamps, and crossed countless hands during blackouts, rationing, and nights at the movies. Because they were used so heavily, high-grade survivors are scarce. This scarcity is where the magic lies. Finding a perfectly preserved 1943 P-War nickel can feel like striking hidden treasure. Some of the most valuable 1943 P nickels are those with dramatic minting errors. The most famous is the double die obverse, where the inscriptions "In God We Trust" and "Liberty" appear boldly doubled. Such coins, especially in high grade, have sold for thousands of dollars at auction, turning what was once pocket change into a collector's dream. Even small variations such as off-center strikes, die cracks, or unusual toning can make a 1943 P-War nickel far more valuable than its modest face value. But value is not measured in dollars alone. The 1943 P nickel also carries immense historical value as one of the few silver coins minted in base denominations. Unlike the half dollars or silver dollars already known for their precious metal content, the war nickel made everyday Americans unknowingly carry silver in their pockets. Each one of these coins was, quite literally, small change made a treasure, ordinary yet extraordinary at the same time. Collectors today see the 1943 P. Jefferson nickel as a gateway to the fascinating world of wartime coinage. Alongside the 1942 to 1945 war nickels and the famous 1943 steel cent, it tells the story of America adapting its resources for survival. While circulated examples are common, coins in top condition, brilliant uncirculated or graded with full steps on Monticello, are breathtakingly rare and can command values in the thousands. For the right coin, the market's demand feels almost limitless. Imagine the journey of one such coin. Minted in Philadelphia at the height of World War II, it might have passed to the hands of soldiers' family buying ration sugar, or into a church offering plate during a Sunday service praying for peace. It may have been tossed into a jukebox playing swing music at a dance, or carried in the pocket of a young boy collecting coins for war bonds. Each 1943, P nickel carries not only silver but stories, invisible threads linking it to the hopes and struggles of millions. The 1943 P nickel also demonstrates how something small can carry unimaginable wealth. While most examples are worth a few dollars in silver content, rare errors and pristine survivors can sell for thousands or even tens of thousands. In rare instances, collectors who stumble upon the right coin find their fortunes transformed overnight. A simple coin jar in the attic, a dusty shoebox in the closet, or a forgotten pocket change collection could hold a key to financial transformation. Even as modern America moves steadily toward digital currency and coins vanish from daily use, the allure of a 1943 P war nickel grows stronger. It is not only a reminder of sacrifice and resilience, but also a beacon of opportunity for collectors and dreamers. Its story blends patriotism, rarity, and hidden value into a single 5-gram piece of silvered history. In the end, the 1943 P. Jefferson nickel is more than money. It is memory, legacy, and possibility all fused into metal. If you hold one, especially in rare condition or with a minting error, treasure it. Do not underestimate it. For within its small frame lies the power to change your fortune, just as surely as it carries the memory of a nation that once united to change the world. Next up, the 1944 P. Jefferson nickel is no ordinary coin. It is a relic from the height of World War II, a symbol of America's determination to win, and a piece of silver that slipped into the pockets of millions of citizens without them ever realizing its hidden treasure. Struck in Philadelphia, it was part of the now famous War Nickel series, issued from 1942 through 1945, when the U.S. Mint changed its composition to preserve critical metals for the war effort. During these years, nickel, the metal, was desperately needed for tanks, ships, and airplanes. Every ounce mattered. To save it for the battlefield, the Mint replaced in the 5-cent coin with an alloy made of 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. This wartime blend created coins with a different look and feel, often darker or streaked, but with a hidden truth. For the first and only time in history, everyday nickels contained silver. That meant ordinary Americans unknowingly spent treasure on bus fares, candy, or ration stamps. The 1944 P issue was especially historic because it carried the bold P mint mark above Monticello's dome, an unprecedented design choice at the time. Before the war nickels, the Philadelphia Mint never used its letter mark. This change was not cosmetic. It was practical, signaling to bankers and the public that these coins contained silver and would be handled differently when withdrawn from circulation later. In doing so, the 1944 P nickel made history, giving Philadelphia's mint mark a permanent place in American coinage. Over 119 million of these nickels were struck in 1944 at Philadelphia. That sounds like a massive number, yet decades of circulation wore most of them down. The majority that survive today are heavily used, showing scratches, dark surfaces, and loss of detail. Finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition, especially with sharp details on Jefferson's portrait and full steps on Monticello, is like discovering a diamond in the rough. These rare survivors are the ones that command unimaginable sums in today's coin market. Beyond condition, errors and varieties pushed the 1944 P nickel into legendary status. Some examples show double die features, where letters or numbers appear shadowed by a second impression. Others display unusual strikes, clipped planchets, or off-center images. These mistakes, born in the chaos of wartime production, can transform a simple 5-cent coin into a prize worth thousands. The thrill of discovering such a rarity in a coin roll or family collection has changed lives before, and it can again. But what makes the 1944 P nickel truly captivating is the history it carries. Imagine the era. Young men and women heading overseas, factories working around the clock, families rationing sugar, gas, and rubber. Amid this sacrifice, the mint's decision to place silver in small coins was more than practical. It was symbolic. Every 1944, P nickel represented a piece of the nation's wealth redirected toward victory. Holding one today is like touching the pulse of 1940s America, a time when unity was forged in fire. Collectors revere the 1944 P not just for its silver, but for its story. It belongs to the short-lived war nickel series, a subset within the Jefferson nickel collection that every serious numismatist seeks. Completing the set means owning history. In the 1944, P is a central piece. Its Philadelphia origin gives a connection to the original heart of U.S. coinage, a city where the nation was founded and where, in 1944, the mint was producing coins to keep America's economy steady during global turmoil. Financially, the coin's potential is staggering. While circulated examples might trade for a few dollars, gem-quality coins, especially those with rare errors, can fetch thousands. Some have even crossed the auction block for 5 figures, making them worth more than their weight in silver. For a lucky owner, such a find can feel like stumbling into hidden wealth, a forgotten coin jar or inherited collection suddenly holding the power to change a fortune overnight. The beauty of this coin is that it bridges the worlds of commonality and rarity. Millions once jingled in change, meaning anyone today could stumble upon one. Yet only a tiny fraction retain condition, brilliance, or a unique error that launches them into the realm of extreme value. That balance, ordinary in one sense, priceless in another, is what keeps collectors chasing the 1944 P wore nickel with passion and intensity. Even outside the coin world, the 1944 P nickel serves as a piece of Americana. It tells of a nation that adapted, sacrificed, and ultimately triumphed. It's a reminder that even in the smallest things, a coin, a stamp, a scrap drive, America's citizens contributed to the greater cause. That human story is woven into every strike of the coin, making it not just money, but memory. In today's market, where precious metals and history converge to create value, the 1944 P nickel stands tall as both collectible and investment. It is a piece of silver and a piece of story, a coin that has outlived the war, the decades, and the generations, still shining with potential. Whether tucked into a coin book, held in a collector's gloved hand, or waiting in a forgotten jar, it holds within it a possibility far greater than its face value. And so, the 1944 P. Jefferson nickel remains more than a 5-cent piece. It is a treasure of silver and sacrifice, a symbol of wartime America, and a chance for fortune. If you're lucky enough to own one, especially in pristine condition, hold it tightly. Do not let it go for less than it's worth, for within its small frame lies not just history, but the power to rewrite your destiny overnight. Next up, the year 2003 marked a fascinating moment in the life of the Jefferson nickel, though not yet at the center of the redesigns that would arrive in 2004 and 2005 with the Westward Journey series. The 2003 D nickel stands as one of the last coins to bear Felix Schlag's original Monticello, reversed before changes reshaped the series. Struck at the Denver Mint, it carried forward a design that had been in use since 1938. Yet hidden within its numbers and mintages are secrets that make certain examples of this coin unimaginably valuable today. Unlike the silver war nickels of the 1940s, the 2003 D was not intended to be made of precious metal. It was struck in the standard copper-nickel blend that had been used for decades. But as with many moments in U.S. coinage, accidents, varieties, and experimental strikes left behind pieces that are not only different from the ordinary but spectacularly rare. Collectors whisper of transitional errors, off-metal strikes, and test strikes that found their way into circulation by accident. These are the kind of 2003 D nickels that can turn an ordinary 5 cents into a small fortune. What gives the 2003 D its allure is that it was minted in the tens of millions. making it seem utterly common. This illusion of abundance has caused countless people to overlook it, dismissing it as pocket change when in reality, certain rare examples are worth more than gold. It is the ultimate irony. A coin so familiar, yet capable of rewriting someone's financial destiny overnight. The power of the 2003 D nickel lies in its unpredictability. Denver, the city of its birth, has always been known for bold mint marks and high production. In 2003, the D sat proudly beside Jefferson, marking the Western Mint that churned out countless coins for decades. But history tells us that even within the busiest mints, mistakes happen. A misplaced I, a double strike, or an accidental use of silver or foreign planchet can create a coin unlike any other. For the 2003 D, such errors are the holy grail, making an otherwise unassuming nickel suddenly priceless. One of the most engaging aspects of this coin story is its role as a bridge. It connects the long-standing Schlag design, which had become a symbol of stability in American coinage, with the upcoming artistic revolution that would depict Jefferson in new poses and honor the bicentennial of Lewis and Clark's expedition. To hold a 2003 D nickel is to hold the last breath of an era, the calm before change swept through the nickel's identity. That historical significance alone makes it appealing to collectors. Add to this the rumors of coins struck on experimental blanks, pieces that contain higher silver content or unusual metallic blends, and you begin to see why the 2003 D commands fascination. Such coins would never have been intentionally released, yet accident happened. And history is full of examples where test strikes or wrong planchet coins escape the mint's watchful eyes. When these are discovered, they shake the collecting world to its core and command unimaginable prices at auction. The sheer beauty of the Jefferson nickel design also gives the 2003 D its charm. Schlag's Monticello reverse, with its classical symmetry, had survived nearly 7 decades by 2003, weathering wars, economic shifts, and cultural revolutions. To see it struck cleanly and preserved in high-grade examples is to witness the artistic endurance of American coinage. In top condition, the 2003 D nickel gleams like a tiny medal of democracy and history, more than worthy of collectors' admiration. But the real magic lies in discovery. Imagine an everyday person sorting through change, expecting nothing more than common coins, only to notice something unusual about a 2003 D nickel. The shine, the strike, the weight. In that moment, what was thought to be a trivial 5 cents becomes a doorway to fortune. This is why collectors and treasure hunters alike still pay close attention to coins of even recent decades. Because miracles in metal are always possible. The market today is full of stories of such finds. While a circulated 2003, D might fetch only a small premium. The rare errors and pristine mint state versions can leap into the thousands. Auction houses have seen modern nickels reach shocking heights when errors are proven genuine. In the hands of a collector with vision, this coin transforms from currency to treasure, from pocket change to heirloom, beyond money. However, the 2003 D nickel holds cultural weight. It reminds us that America's story is still being written, even in small, everyday objects. A coin minted in Denver at the dawn of the 21st century carries the continuity of Jefferson's ideals, the persistence of Monticello as a national symbol, and the quiet possibility of greatness hidden in the ordinary. That is why the coin resonates beyond its metal content. In the end, the 2003 D Jefferson nickel proves that fortune does not always wear a crown of gold or silver. Sometimes appears in the humblest forms, disguised as a 5-cent piece rattling at the bottom of a drawer. The wise collector sees beyond appearances, recognizing that history, rarity, and error can combine to create unimaginable value. The 2003 D is such a coin, and those who possess it should never part with it lightly. For in that small circle of metal lies power, the power to connect past and future, art and economy, history and chance. And perhaps, if fortune smiles, the power to change one's life overnight. The 2003 D Jefferson nickel is not just money, it is possibility itself. And in today's market, that possibility is worth more than ever imagined. Next up, the year 2000 was a turning point in the United States, not only in politics, with a new millennium and a contested presidential election, but also in culture, technology, and the way Americans look toward the future. In the middle of all this change, the mint quietly struck millions of Jefferson nickels, including the 2000D, a coin that on the surface seemed like just another 5 cents. Yet beneath its ordinary appearance lies a story of history, hidden rarity, and the possibility of unimaginable fortune. The Jefferson nickel had by then been in circulation for more than 60 years, first introduced in 1938 to honor the third president of the United States, Thomas Jefferson. Felix Schlage's classic design had endured the Great Depression, World War II, and the Cold War. By the year 2000, it was one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. The 2000D nickel, struck at the Denver Mint, carried on that legacy while also serving as one of the last nickels produced before the historic redesigns of the early 2000s. What makes the 2000D especially fascinating to collectors is not just its historical place, but the whispers of unusual varieties and mistakes that occurred during its production. Though nickels of that year were not intentionally made of silver, collectors have speculated, and in some cases discovered, that certain planchets with unusual compositions, possibly experimental or struck in error, escaped the mint. These are the kinds of anomalies that can transform an ordinary 5-cent coin into a piece worth thousands or even millions, depending on its uniqueness. Denver's mint mark, the proud D beside Jefferson's portrait, symbolizes strength, scale, and tradition. The Denver Mint has long been known for massive coin production, but history tells us that in such massive operations, mistakes are inevitable. Wrong metal strikes, double dies, off-center minting. These are the kinds of treasures collectors hunt for. With the 2000D nickel, every detail matters. The luster, the strike, and even the faintest irregularity can mean the difference between pocket change and life-changing wealth. The broader historical context also adds weight to the 2000D nickel story. At the dawn of the millennium, America was standing at a crossroads between past and future. Technology was advancing rapidly. Yet the humble nickel still bore the same portrait of Jefferson and Monticello that generations before had used daily. To hold a 2000D is to hold both continuity and change, a symbol of stability in a rapidly shifting world. That alone gives a coin a certain mystique and desirability for collectors. For those lucky enough to find a rare error or high-grade example of the 2000D, the marketplace can be electrifying. Coins that appear ordinary can sometimes cross the auction block for astonishing amounts when collectors recognize their rarity. This is where the dreams of fortune come alive. A coin you thought was worth 5 cents could suddenly be appraised at tens of thousands or even more. Its value driven by history, rarity, and collector demand. The 2000D nickel is also significant because it foreshadows change. Only a few years later, the Jefferson nickel would undergo its first major redesign in decades with the Westward Journey series, and then again with the new forward-facing Jefferson portrait. The 2000D stands at the edge of that transformation, one of the last of its kind before American coinage entered a bold new era. That transitional role only heightens its appeal in the eyes of collectors who appreciate moments of closure and beginnings. Even beyond the world of numismatics, the story of the 2000D nickel is a lesson in perspective. It reminds us that fortune often hides in plain sight. While millions dismiss it as a common coin, the few who recognize its true potential, its errors, its varieties, its pristine condition, see a hidden treasure. This duality between ordinary and extraordinary is what makes coin collecting not just a hobby, but a thrilling pursuit of history and chance. Imagine, for a moment, discovering such a coin in your own possession. A nickel you've had in a jar or a drawer for years suddenly reveals itself as something extraordinary, capable of rewriting your financial future. That is the power of coins like the 2000D. They blur the line between everyday life and dreams of wealth. Stories of overnight transformations fueled by rare finds are not just legends, they are real possibilities. Collectors who specialize in Jefferson nickels often point out that modern coins like the 2000D are still underappreciated. This means opportunities still exist. Many people focus only on older nickels, the wartime silver issues of the 1940s, or the earliest 1938 issues. But in truth, rarities can be born in any year, even the year 2000. This makes the 2000D not just a coin of the past, but a coin of the present, waiting to be rediscovered and valued properly. The beauty of the Jefferson design, with Jefferson's thoughtful profile and Monticello's stately lines, only deepens the emotional pull of the 2000D nickel. When found in pristine condition with sharp details and mirror-like luster, the coin becomes more than currency, it becomes art. And when combined with rarity, art transforms into treasure. That is the secret language of numismatics, and the 2000D nickel speaks it fluently. In the end, the 2000D Jefferson nickel stands as proof that even the smallest, humblest coin can hold extraordinary power. It is a coin of history, a coin of beauty, a coin of possibility. And for those who are lucky enough to uncover its rarest forms, it can be a coin of destiny, capable of changing fortunes overnight and reminding us that true value often hides in plain sight.